Hello, hello, and welcome, everyone. I am your host, Lizzie, with LizyT Show. How are you doing this wonderful afternoon here in Canada? We have a special guest with us today. We've been having writers and singer-songwriters and coaches, and some of you know that I support Woman on Fire. So we've been having a little bit of variety of some of the shows here, but another writer today, all the way from LA, one of my favorite places that is for us Canadian that we love to visit the United States. So this is always Miami or LA, where it is warm, obviously. He's originally from Detroit. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background because that way you know who I'm talking about. He is Jason, as you can see it on the screen. Jason, he's a Persian Gulf War veteran, former NASA, a law librarian, born and raised in Detroit, but now he resides, as I mentioned earlier, in LA. He has a deep love of alternative music. Love that. Sports and playing poker. That's pretty awesome. And he is Jason's incredible journey has taken him across the globe. Obviously, along the way, he has gathered countless stories inside of shape of storytelling. So that's awesome. We're going to hear some storytelling. He graduated from the University of Indiana, a bachelor's degree in English literature. I mean, that's where the writing comes from, I guess, and a master's degree in librarian science. Jason combines the passion of storytelling with sharp intellect and genuine desire to inspire. And we're going to be talking about an incredible book, The Prenatal Legacy. That is the book that he's published. So I'm very excited. By the way, if you are interested in being part of the show or just asking questions, don't forget that our YouTube is open so you can chat with us, ask questions, congratulate him. Maybe you are an inspiring writer and you would like to know a little bit more about how to do this. I mean, the sky's is the limit. So, yeah, let's welcome him to the stage. Hello, Jason. Welcome,
Hello, thank
welcome
you.
virtually to Canada. How are you doing this
Yeah,
afternoon?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I
Thanks for
am
having me.
fantastic. I'm very excited to talk about your life, talk about your book, talking about your adventures as a former war veteran. So let's start there because one of the things that I'm very curious, and I've in an interviewed many veterans throughout my can't believe it 10 years here on the air. Why enlisting yourself to in the army? Why did you wanted to know parts of the world that you probably thought I will never do it if I'm not, or you want to just you're very patriotic and you wanted to help your country? Tell us a little bit about that.
You want to know about my military service? Okay.
Yeah.
That was yeah. So I was in the United States Air Force, and I chose to go that route after high school. Um, Obviously, I mean, definitely want to serve my country. And very honored that I was able to serve. The reason I think a lot of it was just to follow the footsteps of my uncles, I guess, who were before me as well. They were they were Vietnam War veterans. I knew that they had gone in the service, and all of them had uh,
Inspire
had
you in a
nothing
sense, I
but good
guess.
things to say. And really, it was a great way for me as an 18-year-old, really a child at that time, to
Yes.
figure out what I was, going to do with my life. The military gave me some discipline financially. It gave me a steady income, but it
Right.
was more than that. It was a family and a team, and ultimately you end up becoming the soldier and working for your country, and very very proud of my my time in the military. Absolutely.
Of course. One of the things that you said is, which is very impressive, and being a mom of a daughter that went through cadets. So you got inspired because of a family member. So, they probably rage about how incredible it is to be in the military. And you said, hey, why not? I'm young. I would like to try something, but the discipline. And I remember that when my daughter was doing just the as a child cadet, it was so much discipline, and I loved it because one of the things that we had trouble is organizing your room, putting your stuff away, folding things properly, and this gave her the opportunity. Just
Yeah,
that
they
alone.
really do take you and they break you down in
Yes.
their own special way, and then they build you back up. And it really is, for many people, it's
Hmm.
it's a wonderful route for them to go and figuring out, including myself. I'm glad, I was very grateful that I went that route.
Good for you. Good for you. And some people like yourself make a career out of it. Some of them it was just like in my daughter's case was just temporary, but
I didn't. Yeah, I
nevertheless.
did not make a career out of it, just to be clear. But I was in for.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was in for 5.5 years, and um, but
That's a lot. It's still that's a long time, and they
it
give
is.
you the
It is.
opportunity.
It is. But one of the toughest choices I've made in my life was to separate from the military. Actually, it was a tough choice
Interesting.
because I really did enjoy my time and was very proud of the work that we had done. And being a Persian Gulf War veteran, it
Mm.
wasn't easy to walk away from
Of
that
course.
life. But ultimately, I knew that I wanted to go to college and pursue you know, my
Your
degrees
degree,
and my
absolutely. Your
education.
degree.
So I did that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess because you've experienced that part of your life, and I guess you went get yourself a degree, and English was one of your majors.
Mhm.
You got the taste of writing in that sense. That was what kind of
Mm,
that you
kind of, I
triggered.
suppose. I'm sure. I've always loved to read, and I have written. I think I was creative in some way. I don't. I think it was once I got out of the military that
Mhm.
I started jotting down stories um, and ideas and stuff like that. But going through college and getting the fundamental education and it was very important. I think it's been a process more or less.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
So the inspiration from for the book that I was just alluding to at the beginning of the
prenatal
show,
legacy.
Prenatal Legacy. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about how did you get your inspiration to write this book? This is a fantasy book, by the way, for everyone who is into that. We will share the links in just one second, and we will show you where to find it and all that good stuff. But tell
Great.
us a little bit about the inspiration because you're very multifaceted. You have many things in your life, from the military to go into graduating and all that. Love to
Yeah.
hear. Was it a dream, or tell us a little bit about that?
No. So that's interesting. Thank you. So how it came about really was I remember learning a long time ago that birds' wings were really extensions of their shoulder blades and how they just grew and branched and feathered out and became wings. And I had this thought, like, what would happen if a human being all of a sudden, as they grew older, their shoulder blades continued to grow until they formed wings? Like what would that be like? And so I wrote this scene of a girl in a library, and she was wearing kind of like a corset, to keep everything hidden. And I had envisioned like she was probably kept hidden inside the house for so long, and this is her first time out in public, and that kind of evolved from there. I wrote this scene, and I started, and that's none of that's in the book. But I started thinking, well, if she grew wings, she'd be able to like just fold them back up, and she wouldn't need a contraption to hide. So it developed from there, and then I introduced like her sister, and then this family, and started with this drama of the family trying to keep them hidden because there's dangers out there. And it really evolved, a character being brought in, and then I started to do some research, which is where it got interesting. And I think I was using Google Translate, and I was just throwing some words in there just to see what I could come up with. And I think I put in drift into that, or something close to that, drift by maybe, or something like that. And it translated into Latin the word pronato. And that's the Praenato. And I thought, oh, that's a real word. I've never seen that word, but I like that word. So that it was kind of a mix of me goofing around trying to just find words that I could use, and then there's anyway, sorry, but yeah, there's a lot of just development that over the course of time, it just kind of it became a scene, and then a chapter, and then into a novella, and then I brought in more characters, and then it really became the book eventually. There's a lot of high school drama with cheerleading and cheerleading tryouts, and there's a lot of that in there as well.
And for people that are watching now or will be watching later on, this is, by the way, going to be recorded. It is recorded, it is live right here on my YouTube channel as well. So for people that are into fantasy, can you tell us what's different, what's special between all of the other books that are out there and yours? I mean, I love the name, by the way. I was Googling and I'm like, what does it mean? And then it actually took me to a Latin word, and I'm thinking, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, it's a real word. So
it is.
In terms of how it compares to other books, I'll be honest, I don't read a lot of the young adult sci-fi fantasy stuff. I honestly don't. So this really, it just came about. I didn't like say I'm going to write a sci-fi book. I didn't do that at all. I just started, like I said, I wrote a scene and developed it, and I really liked it, and then it became bigger and bigger into novella, which I really liked, and now this book, which I'm great. But yeah, I didn't get inspiration from anything in this genre. I don't think. I just kind of, I don't know, created
it was all in here. It was all in here.
a little bit there, and a little bit of, figuring out. Yeah, finding the word prenatal kind of opened things up. I'm like, that's interesting.
I think that's usually what
that
happens.
Became the whole people, like the girl with wings. It's like the prenatal is, that she's one of them. And I had a lot of fun writing it, though. There were,
and that's what is more important, really, because when I interview a lot of authors, one of the common denominator is not having fun, or having way too much fun, and not knowing when to finish the book. And when you have a lot of fun, it means like you're into it. You can't wait for readers to read it. You can't wait to be out there in the shelf. And by the way, we will share the links for where you can get your copy as well. So is this mostly an adult book? It's not for teenagers, it's not for young?
No, this is an adult. I mean, this is a young adult. This is for young adults. Definitely the story centers around two teenage girls that are moving to Northern California, and they develop friendships and get into all this high school drama. And there's a lot of high school interactions that go on, and the social dynamics, and characters that are some are friendly and some are not so much, and there's a lot of that, but it moves forward pretty fast, I think. And it's I mean, if I could talk a little bit more about it, the one character that does come in that really opens up the story is the uncle. And when the uncle is introduced,
Mhm.
The parents invite him in because they know that their daughter, who she really wants to go flying. She really wants to go fly, and so they bring the uncle in because he needs to have a conversation with her. So he tells her about all of the dangers. And not just the media that will hound her and if she'd be such a sensation if that were to happen, but also there are these beasts that exist, and they're and again, this was part of the fun of writing it. It was, I found these biblical creatures, and I kind of incorporated them, with the Leviathan and the Ziz and the Behemoth, and so I brought in, so they're part of this story as well. So there's a lot going on there, but it's definitely something that young adults, I think, would really.
And because you're bringing all of those characters, which is also adult, I think adults can also enjoy the book and have fun of it. It's not just for teenagers or young adults or even people that are into this fantasy world. I want to make sure that my audience doesn't forget. I don't want to forget to ask, where can people get this book right now?
So it's available at most platforms. I think that you can get to. It's on Amazon, and it's in Kindle and Barnes and Noble, and yeah, I think
Beautiful, beautiful.
yeah. I'm gonna hopefully get it on library shelves. That would be ideal.
Wow.
But that's, we'll see. Wishful thinking, maybe. We'll see. I hope.
Well, for you that are watching right now or will be watching later on, as you can see it, there's a link right here, right on Amazon, and as you can see, love the cover, and there it is, Prenatal Legacy. It is in Kindle and very affordable if you into this reading. This is definitely a must in your library. So it's right here on the screen for you, just in case you have missed it or you were wondering how do you spell that. It's right there. It's right there. The reviews, people that know you, working in being a war veteran and having a different life, what do they say about you writing this type of book? I mean, did they know that you had it in you or to be a writer? Love to hear what feedback you're getting right now.
I have gotten some feedback. I don't. Yeah, I think some people were surprised. I certainly have surprised a number of people when I've told them I've published books.
Wow.
But I don't know. I'm honestly, I'm kind of a pretty private person, and so I don't really beat the drums and tell everybody, "Hey, everybody." I mean, I sort of did with my first book. Let everyone know, "Hey, I published this book," but with this second one, I'm just kind of I'm letting it out, and I'm hoping that I hope they find it on their own instead of having me tell them about it. We'll see.
And I can see that you're private, and I can see that this is not something that you are. I mean, you are proud. The process of writing books, being an author myself, it could be easy, it could be cumbersome, it could be challenging. Having the ideas, one thing, putting those ideas on a computer is something else, and then producing it and going through with your publisher,
It
that's a
was a
totally different
process.
story.
Absolutely. You're right. And I worked on this for a few years. I'm hoping that
Wow.
my next couple, or whatever, I'm hoping that the next one won't take as long. But you're right. It is a process for sure. And there were definitely some pain points that I learned from along the way.
Good for
Um,
you that you're able to say that.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't easy all the way through. Although there were definitely moments where I really enjoyed just what I'd written. So
And you wanna be able to see the end point, right? You wanna be able to see the end
yeah,
result right away.
yeah,
Sometimes you come to the point that you're saying, "This is good enough." I wanted out. I want to give birth, being a mother, and I want to be able to show this to the world, and talk about it on the LizyT show or many other interviews that you've done,
Yes.
because uh, there is no such thing as perfection, right? You know that what you wrote, you know that this is the best that you can give. Obviously, there's other books coming on the way, which you gave me a good segue, because this is your second book, if I'm understanding. And I mean, you got the taste of it. You got the bug. And is there another one on the works? And now you know better what to do and how to do it.
So that's where I'm at right now in terms of I'm kind of thinking about what I'm writing next. I'm writing sentences here and there, and each of those sentences can become chapters at some point. But it's a slow process, at least for me. I'm still trying to learn all of this. I have two things in mind in terms of where I'm going. One is that this book, The Prenatal Legacy, actually ends kind of on a cliffhanger, and it does say end of book one at the end of it. So I do feel like I've been spending a lot of time thinking about the inner workings of what the next book will look like, and it may be a second book, it may be a trilogy. I honestly don't know. I have to get started on that writing, but I have another book in mind as well that I'm sort of really enjoying just thinking about. So I'm not sure what's next. I'm writing every day, and um, I'm yeah, I'm gonna figure this out though.
You're enjoying the process, and you want to be creative, but you don't want to be, because then it turns into like a chore, a job, something that you
Yeah,
don't want to have.
I took a little bit of a break for that reason. I felt pressure that I needed to really, keep, creating. And I took a break, and I just thought I need to just yeah. And I'm glad I did. Now I'm back into,
Mhm.
okay, I'm really wanting to write again. So yeah.
Nice. Again, everyone, the book is right here on the screen. For you that are into fantasy, for you that are into this genre, please check it out. And again, to you, are you right now on any social media at all? Facebook, Instagram,
I am. Yeah. I'm on Instagram somewhere. Do I
and
need?
I guess not too active.
I'm not on. Yeah, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not on. I don't tweet, or I don't even think that that's what they call it anymore. I know, but I'm. Yeah, I don't.
X or tweet, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm really. Yeah.
You're very private, as you said it
I would
earlier.
like to develop my Instagram page and I will be doing that at some point. But that will be probably be more of like photos of, you
Of
know,
the book, and maybe little clips of this interview, because people want to know a little bit more about the writer. And obviously you have an incredible story. People, what can people get, how do you think that somebody who's reading the or thinking of reading your book, what's a good hook, that I don't want you to give it away, because I want it to be a surprise, that
it,
that I
it,
want to get this.
I would say if you're into high school drama in any way, the whole cheerlead. I love the cheerleading drama that I've written. That and they brings in multiple characters from different socioeconomic backgrounds, let's say, and um, that's the understory to the flying girl. Gilda is her name, and all of the the dangers and everything else that awaits them, um, in that regard. But um,
And
yeah,
that is definitely for you that is watching right now,
and for
to find
adults, I
out.
would say, I would say, just to add one thing, I would say for adults, I think that I did a really good job. I like the dialogue that I have and the communication between the parents and the children. I think is fairly real. Um, I feel the frustrations of the parents a lot in this story, and I can't imagine them having to, you know, deal with this type of situation. But I think it I'm I like what I've written, I should say, and anyway, so
You're satisfied, you're happy, and I think the writers are going to, the readers rather, are going to get a lot from it, and yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I like to ask Jason is
mhm.
for somebody who's watching now or will be watching later on, and they have that idea, they're maybe into not so much fantasy, but they have this beautiful story inside of them. And, uh, I believe that everybody has a story inside of them, whether it's their own biography, their own experience, their own testimony, or fantasy.
Yeah.
What would you say what would you recommend? I love to hear some words of wisdom to start writing or just do it. I love to hear what you have to say on that.
I think it's important to make it a habit, I guess. I think if you feel the urge to write, that I'd say do that. Like start writing and make it a habit, and just write whatever you want that's enjoyable, that you enjoy. If it's your personal story that you want to get out, great. Or if it's like some pain and suffering and you just want a catharsis and get that out, I would say that's a great idea. That I feel like writing can be therapeutic, in fact, at times.
Hmm.
But I would say just do it, I think, is the answer, and keep doing it. And um, and then maybe if you want to take some classes,
That's
maybe
true.
there's some community college classes, or if you're in high school, talk to your English teacher or whatever, and get some tips, or someone to help you along the way, to give you some feedback and guide you maybe in. I think that that's
That will
a
do it. Yeah,
sensible
absolutely.
approach. Yeah.
I love it. I love your answer, Jason. And one of the things that I love what you said is, which it was my ordeal, my little difficulty. It was I didn't have the habit. So I was writing one day, a month went by, nothing, and then I was writing. All of a sudden,
It's
when I
hard to pick it back up after a little
isn't it?
while,
Isn't
and
it?
then get back to where you were. And no, but if you're doing it the next day and the next day, yeah, you're in a rhythm, and yeah.
The only time I was able to actually commit to it, if as if when I said to my editor, "This is the day that I'm going to be handing," and all of a sudden it was to rush, a lot of fixing. But if you turn it into a habit, number one, that's one of your words of wisdom, which I love it. If you turn it into a habit, even if it's like a page a day or half a page a day or even, I don't know, a sentence, it's like anything. If you go to the gym and you work out once every 3 months, it's not going to impact your health well-being. And it's the same thing if you don't clean the house within a month, it's going to be turning into a chaos. So turning into a habit is a great idea. And the second advice that I love is just find a college nowadays, especially on the internet. You can get courses of anything, of from good things to bad thing. Everything is online. If
Yeah.
you can get into a community college or
Yeah,
or
I
even
think I feel like I've been getting better with my writing, and I think that that's true with anybody else who's writing. Is if you keep practicing and you keep doing it, you will get better. I do think I've gotten better, and so that's yeah.
practice makes perfect. Doesn't matter what you
Right.
do in life. Absolutely. And the other question I like to ask is for people not to get too excited or too, optimistic. And is, oh, well, Jason Callan did it, Lizzie did it, and many other people that she's had it. And then what should they expect? That it is a challenge that, if it does, having the opportunity to do the script and finish it, what are the challenges the writer should expect? And that's those are the challenges. But then what do you think are the rewards on the other hand?
Well, I'm hoping to see the rewards at some point, but yeah, to get to the challenges though, I will talk about. I would like to say that the one challenge I had, um, that I'd love to warn people about if you're new to this is don't save your work onto an external hard drive. And
Oh
if you know,
no, don't tell me that.
yes, so if you know what mistake I'm talking about, then you know how
Hmm.
painful it is. But
Yes.
originally, what I had done is I had what I had written and saved it onto my local laptop, and then I would move it onto the
Oh
far
my.
the
I can
external
just
hard drive
imagine.
every now and then. And at some point, I opened up the external document, and then I started writing in. I kept doing that for weeks, and it wasn't until like 2 or 3 weeks later that I realized. And every time I would hit save on my document, a little thing would say "bloop, it's saved," and I thought, great, but it wasn't saving onto the external hard drive. So that was a
Oh
really
my.
hard. That was a really tough lesson for me to learn.
And
Um,
it's funny because I've heard all of them, but this one, which I had, it wasn't the whole script. It was just part of it, which I lost it. It wasn't too difficult to bring it back and
have you
remember
had
it
that
on.
happen? Yeah, then you know what I'm talking about. That
Absolutely,
I had
absolutely.
I had 2 days of heartache. I had three weeks of some a particular. I'm not going to say which section of the book, but I had to go back and rewrite it.
Oh my. Oh
Three
my.
weeks worth of work. It really set me back. So that would be my biggest warning.
Advice.
And
Yeah.
I'm guessing most of your writers are like smarter and going, duh. Well, then for me, I had to learn the hard way, I guess. So, but
And I wouldn't say smarter. It's just different challenges that you have, and now you know better.
right.
You mentioned that when I asked about the rewards, and I said, I hope I'm getting one. Sometimes, Jason, I don't look as, and I consider you successful, just the fact that you have the books out there.
Thank you. And I
There's
didn't, yeah, no, I was
there
being
are people that
facetious, but
have them, but they have done nothing with it. At least you have it out. And the rewards is just the having the physical. And I want you to show your physical book to everyone.
okay.
The physical book, it's a reward.
Yeah.
The
So
job,
this is,
this task, beautiful. Thank you.
yeah. So and I'm very happy with the cover. I did design the cover, although I
Oh
had
wow.
hired somebody else to paint it. But I told them the colors and I gave them um, you know, the general
I love
idea.
it. I love it. So, see,
Thank you.
in my hands, in my eyes, you are already. This is what you have in your hands right now, Jason. It is the reward. More things
It
will
is
come.
great.
Definitely have being here in Canada virtually is another reward, another accomplishment, and the rest will come with time. The world wasn't done in one day.
Yeah.
And so it takes a little time and patience. You probably are looking towards financial rewards as
No,
well, which that will come.
yeah.
But just the fact that you have the physical copy in your hand, to me, that's a great that was the greatest thing.
Honestly, I love the book I wrote, and that's the truth. And so it is my I feel a great sense of accomplishment because this is a great story. I do love this story. So, um, yeah, there's that.
Love it, love it. Well, for you that are watching us right now or will be watching later on, take that for an advice. I'm going to reiterate it again. Just turn it into a habit like anything else. And
Mhm.
also don't forget, if you have to save your work, save it in a place that you are not going to lose your work. Because trust me, Jason and I have gone through that and it's not fun. And expect for rewards as of having the job done and having accomplished, having the physical book or the music being played on the radio, or even starting your coaching business, having that. To me, that is a reward. And I think everything else comes with time, patience, which we don't have. I'm pretty sure you can second that with me, Jason. We don't have patience. We want things done now, and having those financial rewards right away, but that comes with time. Again, everyone, if you would like to check it out, the book is right there. Is Prelude to Legacy. Check it out on Amazon. And if you have any questions for me later on or for my guests, you can definitely check it out. We're here on YouTube and also on my website, thelizypodcast.com. And when it comes to reaching Mr. Jason Callan here right now, he probably will be updating a little bit more his Instagram, or if you would like to connect with him directly through his book or even through his publisher, you can always do that as well. Jason, do you have? You said we're going to be here for 30 minutes. Well, it's almost 40, just so you know, and it's going by really, really quickly.
Yeah,
Anything
thank
else
you.
that you would like to say to my audience?
No, I just really appreciate you having me on here, and I'm really grateful for to be here. I'm you know, I hope I wrote a book that people enjoy and really, you know, they really like it. And yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I'm very grateful. So thank you.
I am grateful for you to be here with us, sharing your background, sharing your life, sharing the love of writing, which is most important. And I'm glad that you're saying I am very happy with my work, and that's the most important part. You feel a sense of accomplishment just finishing this piece of art. And for the world to read it and have fun. So check it out. Get your copy right now. Go to Amazon and
Fun
enjoy
story.
the book.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.